Hey guys, Infinity's Limit here, back with a fresh upload for you guys. And this time I wanted to do something a little bit different. This is primarily, of course, a gaming channel, but I figure I'd do a review here, a little movie review, see how it goes. Because I'm also a big movie guy. And yeah, I wanted to come in here with a review of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. A lot of my friends have been talking about this movie, and a lot of interesting situations. And I mean, the entire situation with this film is interesting, to be honest, because I don't recall any time ever where like the fans of a particular movie kind of banded together to really ask for something of better quality and actually get it. I mean, there's always a fan base that can't complain about things, but rarely do they ever actually get it. So I just want to point that out. That's an interesting situation, this whole movie, and how it came together. But yeah, as for me, man, I've always said this. Before this is just kind of a prologue before I get into the review. I've always said this. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, man. Like, the guy is very in tune with sort of what I want in comic book films. And he's not perfect. But I think when it comes to certain aspects of the medium, there really isn't that many guys that are on his level. I mean, you can honestly look at any of the movies he's made, and it literally is like watching a live action version of the comic. Now, there have been situations where I've disagreed with, his particular takes on certain things, but when it comes to the basics of action, energy, visuals, all these things that are essential to what makes comics exciting to read and enjoy, this guy, he understands that aspect better than most, if not all, the guys that I've seen making these comic book movies. And I know that's kind of a bold statement, but I think a lot of people will back me up on this. And maybe I've always had kind of a soft spot for the guy as well, because I'm also a fellow artist, and I appreciate guys that may not have the technical skill level of filmmaking to a T, but they understand the psychology of making things look good and appreciation of action and the flow of action and all that kind of stuff. So, to begin here, a lot of people have said this, and I think I might actually agree with it. This might actually be his best film, which is a crazy thing to think about, because we almost didn't see this. But immediately, like, the first thing I noticed when I was watching this thing was that, wow, everything in this movie makes logical sense. And structurally, it is night and day difference compared to the original. Everything in this film flows well. Characters come in when they're supposed to come in. Things make sense. The entire flow of the story makes sense. There's not like random stuff in the film that kind of just like, what? Like, where did this come from? Like, the original Justice League felt very patched together, and you can tell that this guy had a vision and it was really not there, and someone had to come in to kind of clean it up, which was the whole original situation with the Josh Whedon situation. But yeah, I mean, I'm very like satisfied with what I saw, man, because like, this thing is long, man. This is a very, very long film. And I ended up watching it in 2 parts because I couldn't sit there for 4 hours. So I watched 2 hours one day and 2 hours the next day. And I gotta say, man, like in terms of what you get, because I was thinking that this was just gonna be a sort of like normal director's cut. Like a lot of guys like Riley Scott and stuff like this, they'll come in and make a director's cut. Well, they'll change a few scenes, take out some dialogue here or there, and just kind of make the movie more lean. And it's basically the same thing, but slightly better because it makes more sense. But there are entire action sequences in this that are, I think, not even in the original. Like that whole dark side or dark seed, however you want to say it, section in the movie. That was like one of the like most insane, like that whole battle between him and, like, I don't want to put too many spoilers in this, but like, I mean, if you've seen the original, there isn't really that much to spoil, but I think a lot of people want to come in here and they want to see the new stuff, so I won't really say too much about it. But guys, man, like this guy knows what's up. Like I tell people all the time, man, like there's some scenes in this thing where, like, if you were making a Justice League film as a kid, like you would talk about this at the lunch table with your friends, like, oh yeah, I want to have this scene with Darkseid or this. Like stuff like that is in this. Like there are specific stuff in this film that fans have been wanting to see, and it's here. You know. Anyway, so like going back to talking about the overall movie, I think, you know, a lot of characters here that were kind of like afterthoughts and kind of felt shortchanged in the original, they get full on like scenes. The Flash gets his own scene, which is probably one of the best scenes in the movie. It actually reminded me a lot of the Quicksilver scenes from the X-Men movies, which was some of the coolest scenes in those films. Cyborg is actually really well fleshed out. I mean, he has this whole story arc, and it's interesting because everyone's character in this film has a purpose, and it all kind of plays into the final battle, and I think that's what makes it so much better, because there are final battles in certain movies where like you kind of checked out, you're not really like interested in what's happening. But in this movie, it's like, because you've been watching this thing for like 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours, and everyone is sort of so well set up and has their own thing to do to sort of take down Steppenwolf near the end. The stakes are high, man. Like you genuinely care more about these people than you did in the first film, because of all the character development, man. And everyone is doing like their own thing. Batman is doing his thing, Flash is doing his thing, and they're all kind of working in tandem, and they're all like doing cool stuff, man. So it's like you're watching this battle play out, and everyone's doing their own thing, and it's like, man, this is really cool, man. And I just, I find it very interesting how, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to complain about here, but there seems to be some sort of like a rivalry going on between like people who want more of the Snyderverse and people who don't. But yeah, I mean, even going to stuff like, see, here's the thing. I think the Batman portrayal in Zack Snyder's films are probably some of the best that I've ever seen. There's one particular shot in this movie where Batman is standing in the rain and just thunder cracking behind him, and I'm like, this is like exactly the way that I want to see Batman on screen. Like, this was taken straight out of like Arkham Asylum games. Like, it's like, that is what I'm talking about, man. And there's a couple more scenes like that in this. I mean, the whole like section with the Amazonians, that whole action scene was so much better. There was a lot more going on, and it's incredible, man, because I really don't see why people are complaining about getting more of this. Because as for me, I'm not a biased guy. I'm not a biased fan. if you come to the table with quality, I see no reason why. I see no reason why you shouldn't be allowed to make more films. And this thing was quality, man. Like in every way. There wasn't much to complain about. You know? I mean, you could say the movie could have been a little bit shorter. There's a couple of scenes in here that weren't really necessary. But overall, man, I gotta give this guy an applause because he really came through and he fixed literally all the issues of the first movie. The only problems I really had with the film, though, was I think he took it a little too far with the epilogue. And I don't know, some people have different opinions about this and they feel it's, some people liked it, some people didn't, but I felt the epilogue was kind of out of place and a little bit strange because it just felt kind of like the movie should have ended where it was in the original. But I kind of see where he was going with this, and I felt that it wasn't really necessary, at least for this film. I probably would have cut that part out if it was me. But a lot of people are interested in that kind of stuff and that whole nightmare sequence. But it's kind of take it or leave it. But honestly, this is really a win. I think this movie is a win for fans, man. Because it's a weird thing that guys don't want Snyder to keep going with this because obviously, I've criticized the man before. Batman vs Superman wasn't a good movie, but if he's coming to the table with this kind of quality, please, by all means, give this guy more. Because I can only imagine how a fight scene between Supes and Darkseid would be on screen if it's done in this quality. I keep emphasizing that. But yeah, this was an excellent movie, man, and I really do recommend it, man. If you're a fan of comic book movies, give this a watch, man. But that's about it, man. That's about all the thoughts I had on it. Let me know if you guys want more movie discussions, but it's kind of an offshoot, and I wanted to get something out there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10, man, which is great. A great movie. That's about all I got, guys. Infinity out.